Hello everybody, I am Ben from Team Panic, and today we're going back to the Brushless hub motor test platform. Now, this thing we built up in a previous episode a little while ago, but now we have the ESCs that are going to plug into these motors and connect us up to the big battery that I'm going to jam in the middle here. Now, I've been doing a little bit of reading on how to tune these motor controllers up and what it means to tune up a brushless motor controller for these type of wheels, and just looking at drive systems for various combat robots and stuff like that. So these ESCs that I have here, these are an Afro 20 amp ESC. Now these I've chosen especially because they have a version of Simon K brushless firmware for them, which is a great firmware because it is infinitely, well, almost infinitely changeable, and you can set the firmware configs and then download it to this thing pretty easily because it's been designed to have those firmware changes done to it. So this is the firmware that a lot of people are using for brushless drive because it has a quick and easy setting that you can use to turn these into reversible drive. So a lot of the issues that you'll find with hooking up an ESC to a motor like this is that you punch the stick and it will only go one way. It won't go backwards as well. So anything that you can put Simon K onto, you can get to reverse. So like I said, I've been doing some reading on this stuff and looking at some of the stuff that other people have done before me, and this may not be my greatest idea, to be perfectly honest. These wheels were intended to go into a version 2 of Strange Young Man. Not quite sure what I'm going to call that yet, because version 2 of Strange Young Man does not sound very good. But it turns out that brushless motors don't quite have a lot of torque at the low end, and you can tune Simon K all you like, but you're not going to overcome that limitation. So I do want to do some testing with these. I'm going to have to do a lot of testing with these with the Simon K firmware, but I think even with all of this stuff, I'm going to push ahead and put these into a robot anyway, just to see how they go. I mean, they will go probably into Strange Young Man version 2 at this point in time. We'll see how they fare in the arena. If they fare okay, everything was good. If they don't fare all that well, they'll go into some of my robots in the future with weapons on them where the drive isn't as necessary, but Strange Young Man, the drive is absolutely everything because, of course, it is a lifter bot. It needs to be able to drive, and not only drive fast, but also have a lot of torque behind it so it can slam other people into walls and, you know, get the lifter in underneath where it needs to be and all that kind of stuff. So it needs a lot of torque, and it needs a lot of low-end torque, which is apparently what brushless motors like these lack, and especially brushless motors that don't have a gearbox, which is exactly what these don't, because of course they are just a straight hub motor. The motor is just basically directly driving the outside of this wheel. So, like I said, it could be an issue, but let's wire this thing up. As I said, I've got wiring looms and things kind of sitting around me here. We'll wire this thing up, we're going to take it outside, and we're going to give it a test run. I'm going to do a quick flash of these, do some very, very quick setting tweaks on these. I'm not even really going to try and tune these all that well right now. Like I said, that's something that I'm going to have to do over the next couple of months, I would say. And then once I have a tune down for these things, we'll have a look at this again, and I'll do a full video on the tuning settings that I've done for these and kind of what sort of low-end torque you can expect out of these and all of that kind of stuff. So we'll have a look at that in a little while. But like I said, for now, we're going to actually finish this guy off for today and get it driving and just see what happens. I mean, that's the, you know, the worst that can happen is that it will push this thing around, but not much more, and then we know for a fact that these motors are a bad idea. So let's get to it. Okay, so it moves, and it actually kind of sort of does the thing, a little bit. So as you could probably tell from that footage, I was having a few issues with it. There are kind of two main reasons for that. One, it seems like the setup with these ESCs, so that's actually really the first one. The ESCs are the different ESCs to the ones I showed you in the very first clip. That's because I started having trouble trying to flash those 20 amp ESCs, the Afro ones that I showed you earlier. I was getting all sorts of weird error messages out of them, and I was running out of time to get moving with this thing and get it actually doing things. So I kind of threw those to the side, and I used these ones, which are just really, really cheap. Ones out of a model car, I think, like out of an RC car. They're interesting. They're not the greatest for combat because when you throttle back and trying to go into reverse mode, these things take the first reverse as a stop, and then you have to throttle back again to actually get backwards, which it's interesting. It's annoying, basically. And so I was having some issues with reverse because these ESCs aren't the right ESCs. I have to sort out my flashing issue sometime in the future. And also, I completely forgot that last time I was doing stuff with this, I did not lock this left motor down. So, in fact, the left motor started wobbling around a bit, and that caused it to bind up a little bit, which meant that the left motor was not exactly working as well as it was supposed to. However, I did see that even on 4S, which is what this battery is, I changed from the huge 6S battery just down to a 4S battery because I wasn't sure if these ESCs could handle it. This thing is very, very quick. It's quite nimble, which is going to be good. I mean, this thing has no weight in it at all. It's probably less than a kilogram, and these things will be pushing a 13-kilo robot, but they're very quick, which was nice. So we'll have to see how this goes. Basically, at this point in time, I do need to work out whatever was going on with those ESCs, the Afro ones, and try and get them flashed and get them working properly. But for now, I'm going to push ahead, build a robot out of these, and we're going to test in the arena because there is no better place to test anything than in the arena. And I really want to try a version of a Strange Young Man with these wheels, even if it's a one weekend, one set of fights, and then we never ever do it again. I am keen to try it out because, hey, somebody's got to, so hey, it might as well be me. Yeah, so look forward to looking at those Afro ESCs again in a future video, getting this test space back. We'll probably even upgrade this test space a little bit, add some more weight to it. Yeah, I don't know what exactly we're going to do. We might end up buying or bringing in some of the extra wheels, setting up a 4-wheel drive setup and just jamming a whole bunch of weight on top of it and seeing how we go. I'm thinking probably just get like a big water jug and sit the water jug in the middle of the thing and just fill it with water until, you know, it weighs 20 odd kilos or something, and see how we go pushing that around, because that will be very, very interesting to see. Anyway, sorry for the short video. It was a bit of an all over the place week this week, especially with those Afro ESCs not flashing correctly and doing what I needed them to do. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed that one, and I will see you in the next video.